Today, we're going to be working on our clay birds. We're going to learn about slab, slip, and scoring. This is actually a Cassie Stevens project, so I am just going to be teaching you guys some of her awesome lessons on this as well. All right, so looking at our project here, we're going to learn a little bit about clay and art. We're going to use some of the terms today of what a slab is, what's texture, the type, form that we're learning about, scoring, slipping, and then we'll start getting into on this whole project later about our greenware, the kiln, glazing, and ceramics. All right, so for our clay bird project, you're going to be getting a piece of clay like this that's already rolled out for you, which is called a slab. And then you're going to have another ball that we're going to use to make the wing and the eyes, as well as the beak. You're also going to notice that I have these two tools, and these two tools are a toothbrush and a sponge that has water in it. And the reason we use these is, one, we brush our teeth so our teeth don't fall out, right? Well, when we need to make this clay stick to this clay, we need to brush it so it doesn't fall off. Kind of funny and silly, right? So I'll show us how to do that. That's called scoring and slipping. And then also the sponge, the reason it's wet is I usually use 1 or 2 fingers, and when you push into it, you get nice and wet here. And what it does is if there's any wrinkles, like these cracks, I can just use that and it smooths it right out. Because clay is very thirsty. And the reason I'm wearing these gloves in this video is because when I'm working with clay every single day, all day long, it takes all the moisture out of my hands and then I get really bad cracks. But that's if you're using it for hours and hours and hours like I do. You're going to be fine just for one class. But you might find me wearing these and you might find me not wearing them. All right, so the first thing what we're going to do is so the first part of my video, I showed a slab, but I'm changing that up because I found that I got better texture and it didn't stick to the table as much because sometimes it gets stuck if I'm pounding it on here. So to make it easier on you guys, this doily is, a fabric doily, and here you'll have 2 balls then instead. So one is going to be for the body, it's going to be a little bigger one, and then the other one's going to be for the wing and the extra parts of your texture for like the eyes, etc. So when you make a ball, or which I will have provided for you, it's, you just have a roll of it. And what we want is you're going to make a fist and you get to pound this down, but you want to make sure it's like, you don't want it thinner than a cookie. So I want it nice and thick. If it's too thin, well then it's gonna bend and it's gonna break and it just causes problems. But I wanted to show like the texture is so different. Like this is if I put this on top of the clay is this texture, but if I pound it, you'll notice this beautiful texture. So I really wanna get some really pretty texture for us. So here we go. I'm going to first have the ball on here and then you're gonna make a fist and pound away. All right, so as I look, I can see it's not thinner than a cookie. It's nice and thick, and then when I peel it away, ta-da! I have this beautiful shape that I want, and then I can take my knife part here, and I will slice off just this top part here, so this makes this really beautiful portion on it. And then if I needed to make a wing, which you will, I have a smaller ball for you. So Miss Holland's just making this as an extra. So using this one with the smaller ball, I do the same thing. I got myself a nice beautiful cookie. I'm going to cut this circle shape in half. So then I'm able to put this on here as a really pretty wing. I'm going to zoom in for us. There we go. And same thing that we've done. You're going to use these 2 tools, and I'm just going to scrub dub where I want this to stick on. Same thing here. I scrub. I'm going to stick this on, give it a gentle little push. Okay. And then I want to make 2 circles for the eyes. So I roll it into a ball. I got 1 ball. You don't want these to be big, just little. Okay, awesome. So I've got 2, and then I squish them just enough. Again, nice and thick like a cookie. If it starts to crack, you can push it together and kind of rub it, or use your fingers by pushing into it, and then you can smooth it out. Just remember, clay is very thirsty. Okay, and I'm gonna rub where I want these to stick. Stick number 1, stick number 2. Okay, and then I have 2 tiny little balls that I need to make. Tiny, 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 as you can see, right? So I'm gonna scrub, 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 scrub. I'm gonna stick that on there, make it a little flatter. Remember, they're really tiny. I didn't even use this whole piece here. I just kind of ripped off so I can make a tinier one. I already scrubbed that. And then I take the tool and I'm gonna push all the way through and kind of twist it around. Okay. All right. And what that does is it helps it dry. Okay. And lastly, this little tiny piece that I have, or if you had something a little bit more, you roll it like this between your hands, and it makes this, you will turn it into a V, and that's going to be the beak. We don't want this too small or thin, because the thinner it is, when it dries, it gets smaller. And then it can crack, and then you'll lose the beak, and that would be very sad. So I'm going to stick this on, give it a gentle little push so it sticks on really nice. Okay? And there is my happy bird. I got like a piece of dry clay on here somewhere. It's like stuck. So I'll try to get that out. Always happens sometimes. Dry clay, dry dust, as you can see, is not very healthy for you. So you got to be very careful with it. We try to always keep our places nice and wet. So whenever you're going to a clay studio, you'll notice that they always have an area where they can wash down things so you don't have that. When you lift this up, you're going to put your initials on the back, okay? And then from there, using this, Miss Holland, is going to come around and put 2 holes in the bottom that we'll use this for putting the legs in later, okay? All right, so there is that. You'll get the nice sponges, extra clay if you have any. We're gonna take that and put that back in the bag, because this type of clay is only meant for, you know, working in school, or if you have a kiln to fire it in. Otherwise, it's not very safe for you to use. It'll turn all into clay dust, which is not healthy to breathe in long term. So this is really good for just making things right away, firing them, and then they're nice and safe to have. All right. Once you're done, you can clean up your table, and then you may sit on the rug, and I'll show us what to do next.